All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. This is Trey at TreyMixes.com. Housekeeping first. Run over to TreyMixes.com. Get your free mixing ebook that I drew up real fast for everybody that has some tips and tricks on using saturation, some of which you may know already, some of which may be new and completely new to you. Want to help your mixes sound as good as you can, and saturation's an awesome way to do it that not a ton of people talk about. Anyway, let's keep on rolling. If you're just now joining us, we're doing a series I'm calling Mixing from Scratch, where we started this song that a friend of mine sent, and we're doing it from start to finish, every aspect of this mix, and we're in the middle of working on guitars right now. So we're going to get right back into it and keep on moving with these guitars. So, last time we did guitar bus processing, I would encourage you to go watch that video. And this video will just be a continuation from working on our buses. Now I'm going to come down and work on our individual guitar tracks just for a minute and do a couple of things I love to do to help make these guitars a little wider, a little livelier. And let's get right to it. I can tell you already, since from the last video and moving on, that we are going to want to do some slight individual guitar EQ. So let's listen to where we're at. Alright, I can tell already the guitar on the left is a little darker than the one on the right. So let's go ahead and accent a little bit of that and spread out our guitars with a little complementary EQ, clean it up and highlight some good stuff so that we can spread our guitars out a little bit and create a little bit more width and definition. So let's see if there's some muddiness we can get rid of. Okay. Hear that real honky hole. This is not helping us out very much. And it's kind of in the same range that the snare is in, so I don't want to be frequency masking our snare very much. So we're just going to take a gradual low mid cut here. Not a whole lot, just to help kind of clean it up a little bit. Not really missing anything. Let's go ahead and throw some filters on just as a precautionary measure. I know we did that on the buses already, but again, as a cautionary measure and just to ensure there's not a whole lot of extra, say, low pop that comes through and hits that saturation or the next EQ, we'll go ahead and clean it up here at the base just a little bit. And let's see, if it was already darker, I really like that frequency a lot. We want to shape our guitars just a little bit so that the left one's a little different than the right one, but I don't want to dramatically alter the sound because they sound pretty good. Just a little hissy, a little honky sound in a couple of places. Check it in the mix. Okay, on the right guitar, just listening to it, thought it sounded a little, had some good frequencies right there in the middle of the mid-range, in the 8 to 100K, or 100K, listen to me, 800K to, start over. Listening to the right guitar, decided it was brighter, but it was a little bright and needed a little bit more warmth, we're going to bring out some of the mid-range 800 to 1K frequencies and just kind of see what we're highlighting here. So that frequency is only really offensive if you crank it way up. Check it out again. Gets a little honky that far up. But I think that adds a little bit of life to it, especially during the pick hits. So let's check this out. All right, our goal is to get a little bit different sound, to spread them apart and separate them a little bit more. And so I think that's kind of what's being achieved here. If you listen on some high quality stuff, high quality headphones, let's check this out, and I'll turn the EQ on and off. And you can kind of see how the guitars kind of jump apart a little bit, because where we're highlighting in one area, we're cutting in the other guitar at the same area. So check it. Yeah, I hear a little bit of width happening there. I like it. And it gets just a little bit more separation. So let's go ahead and make these guitars sound like they were really coming right out of a big old mic amp in a room. I'm going to create new buses and a different bus for each track. I'm going to label it, let's see, guitar left goes here. I'm going to call it verb right. And I'm going to call this verb left. So that these verbs, I'm going to attach some reverbs to these guitars, make them sound like cabs. And the right one that panned all the way to the right is going to be coming out of the reverb that's panned all the way to the left. And this can add a little bit more fullness and a little bit more excitement and width to your guitars. So let's roll up to our reverbs. We'll go with the stock reverb we have here, and I know there are several of the spring reverbs. Let's go with a rack reverb on this one. I'm just going to pick two reverbs and just kind of see what we end up with. They both could be springs. Let's take an amp spring. All right. Okay, so we've set up our sends, and I want to show you real fast that we're going to change both of these sends to post fader instead of having the pan happen before the send. We're going to ignore the pan, put it post fader, and then from the fader volume, without the pan affecting it, we're going to send it to a bus that is panned to the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and we're just going to solo these guitars just so we can hear kind of what's going on with our reverb. Now, obviously, that is way too much, but I wanted to kind of hear where I had to get this volume affecting it, so we'll check this out. We got our guitar way left. Filter our reverbs. Just get rid of that hiss, because that's a Mongo hiss. All right, so I'm going to turn this on and turn it off. I've added a little pre-delay just to give it a little bit of space before the reverb comes in. But I just want it to sound like it's being played in a room and you're hearing left guitar sounds that were once hard panned. You're getting a little bit out of the right end. And if I don't like this reverb, which I'm already starting to not, we'll change it. But hopefully right there you can hear it, left sound coming out of the right speaker. Let's try a different reverb, see what we get. That is a whole lot of hits. Let's try us another one. Let's go to this Dark Spring. Now we're talking. Now we're talking much better. Okay. All right. There's still a lot of reverb. We'll turn him down. Let's find some of these honky frequencies in the reverb and get rid of them. Alright, so there, now it's more like it. We're getting a real feel for this. So I'm going to get this sound mixed in with our mix a little bit. Too much there, and the other one's still in. Come up here. Okay, it's a little bit too long for my taste, so we'll come back to the add a little bit pretty late. We're going to cut it down about half of that length and see what that sounds like. That's even better. There we go. Let's check it. Excellent. I like that a lot. All right. So let's work over here on our other one. Turn it down a smidge in length. Very cool. In fact, I don't even really want to change that. I'm going to hit it with some EQ filters just to get any unnecessary super high, super low cloudiness out of it. But I think that's pretty good. So let's add our volume back with the guitars in the mix. Very cool. All right, so check it with them in and with them out, and you can kind of definitely hear the difference that it's going to make in the sound. Let me bring the reverbs in. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, turn off our solo here. Great. So I've got our amp reverb set up. We've done a little bit of complementary EQ. Now we're going to move to our leads here, our lead guitars. All right, excellent. So let's do like we always do. Let's go to our bus. And let's slap an EQ on here and start our, what I can tell will be a filtering process. Remember, we're going to come in and get rid of things we don't need that aren't helping us and go from there. Okay, I think that's all we really need to do is get rid of some of this hiss up around the 8 to 10K and get rid of this low stuff that in the mix is not needed. It's just getting in the way. Not missing anything in tone there. All right, now let's do some of our processing on this. The tones are great. Need a little reverb and delay to help make them sing. So let's do the creating a send thing and give you my, this is a part of my sound. I know I said I would do this with all free and default stock plugins, but this was free when I got it. I don't know if it's still free or not, and I didn't check. But we created a stereo bus, and I'm putting this Isotope DLY digital double delay, and I use this preset that I've made for, it's just part of my lead sound that I put on all kinds of lead guitars, and it's really cool because I'm getting two types of delays here. Go ahead and make them wide, just because I know what this is going to do. So here, let's check this out. All right, so he's already got a little bit of the reverb and delay on there because he likes his tone. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker by bumping up our send from our leads. Okay, that's a lot of feedback, but I'm only sending enough to get the effect. So the way this plugin works, again, I hope this is free. This top one, this top one I've got set to analog delay, and it's set to match. But this is just regular old delay with a little bit of extra distortion sent to it, and this much of the analog delay sending. And then the bottom one is a granular, more digital delay, and this you can pitch. So I have pitched down this delay an entire octave, and I've made it faster to stick it closer to the note, and made it big enough to where you can hear this. Okay, did you hear that? Okay, what's going on there? You hear that deeper tone being doubled in on top of it. It's like a quick thickening that I add using delay, along with the other delay to create space and length to the sound. So let's try it in the mix. That's fun. All right, that's about where I like to have that. Also on this, like I do most things, I have also filtered slightly differently our two EQs for each one of these. There's a filter that goes along with each one of them. All right, so you know what I also like to do with my lead sound is I like to create another reverb. We're going to call this lead verb. And we'll go back to our basic reverb, and I want to grab a plate. I really like, let's try a medium plate, maybe a large plate. I want it about 2 seconds. Let's try this 2-second plate. I'm gonna add a little bit of pre-delay just so it's not right on top of it. And I'm going to get rid of a lot of these filter frequencies, the filter frequencies that I like to get out. If this would, there we go. Because I just want to keep a lot of the mid-range to add that sound. I don't want anything super, super high and hissy or super low and rumbly. I just want the tone. So, you know, between 500 and 5K. All right, so we'll go back into the mix. That one's a little too loud. That one might not be loud enough. We'll know more about some of these gain and volume adjustments on these leads once the vocals come back in. But I want to try to get this music all sounding as awesome as I can before we start adding vocals. Singing. All right, I think that's going to do it for the time being with our guitars. I don't know if there's anything else I really am dying to add to these. I think they sound pretty good, big and wide. I think the leads have been spruced up efficiently and nicely, and we're going to continue next time, I guess, finally getting into vocals. The fun part. Everybody wants to know how to make their vocals better, where I'm going to show you. So, as a quick reminder, where we came from, let's turn off some of our plugins here and let you hear the difference these reverbs and EQs made on our guitars. Great. Again, if you guys have that DDLY that's a part of my lead sound that I love with those delays, go copy those settings and use it yourself. Use it to taste, or you could do it like me, completely tastelessly, and crank it as high up as you can possibly go. I'm all about it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for hanging around this long. Hopefully you've enjoyed the series. If you have, like, subscribe, all that regular stuff, and have yourself a wonderful day.